And I think I'm live. I am. Welcome back, everybody, to Facetious, episode 127, season 3, episode 23, brought to you on Thursday, June 21st, 2018, at approximately 6:08 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am one of your hosts, actually Central Daylight Time. I'm one of your hosts. I am Larry, aka Bluemanrule, and I am joined as usual by my main Dammy, Mike, aka Scarfinger, aka Real Talk. What's up, dog?
What's up, fellas?
And we are joined by the Slasher himself, the founder of Slashatainment. It is none other than Derek, aka Detroit Slasher from Open Form Radio. What's going on, player?
What's going on?
Nothing, man. Hey, we happy to have you here, man. Happy to get you in the building. And man, I think we're gonna have some fun on the show today, man. We got a lot of things to talk about, and I think we can get through it here in an hour because, you know, Mike got to fire up another podcast here in about an hour 30. So, so let's get it. So let's get it in, man. So, so if you guys don't know, Detroit is actually on Open Form Radio, and pretty much there's so much cross pollination with this show and OFR. But I wanted to put it out there that Slasher has been on OFR for what, well over 100 episodes now, 100 and I don't know, 200 now. You should be close, right? You should be about 150. You should be close to 200, right?
250. 250. I joined 254, somewhere in there.
Okay, yeah. And so we're at 407 or 408.
Some massive feedback over here on my end.
Are you really? I don't understand why that that would be the case. Maybe.
I just want to point out that I've only been on the show like maybe 3 or 4 times.
I mean, that's valid. That's valid. I mean, you've only been on OFR a few times, right, Mike? But you know,
but they don't want me on the show because I'm gonna bring my liberal agenda.
Oh, come on, man!
That's why they had Jay O'Malley on there. They were clowning last week. They were like, "We missed this. We missed his liberal views and his views on Gears because they talked about E3, and that was hilarious, man. I was giggling. It was crazy, man. But we're gonna talk about what OFR is doing. Well, we can go ahead and do that now. So, Slasher, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening because I know you got to make sure everything is packed and get ready because you heading out tomorrow, man. Why don't you tell the folks what y'all doing this weekend? Are you still getting mad feedback?
I'm getting about a 45-second delay.
Okay, so where do you listen to the audio from? Are you listening to the audio from? It should be from the Google. Huh. But hold on.
You don't have the YouTube video, do you?
No.
Okay.
Well, he is. Oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening, Slasher. You need to go into. You got your OBS, so you need to interact with the YouTube channel that you have going on your OBS. So right click on the little screen that's holding YouTube. Sorry, y'all, for behind the scenes. Right click on that, interact with it, and then when you do that, you need to go in and mute the video on YouTube. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So you got it. If you get it, then you shouldn't have to worry about it anymore. Your volume should only come through. This Google Hangout that everybody is so much enjoying. So did you get it? If not, I'll show you how to do it. But in the meantime, we'll move on and then we'll come back to it once we get him hooked up. So I don't know why that's happening. I do know why that's happening. But yes,
this is crazy, y'all.
Yeah, no. So did you interact with it? You got to right click and go to interact when you're OBS. Right click on the YouTube window, go down to interact, and then left click. Once that opens up, you should be able to actually manipulate the YouTube video in that little window. Go to mute it. Just mute it. That's all you gotta do. And then when you mute it, you no longer get an echo, and you'll only hear this chat. So, but we can get into it because hold on, Mike. So this week, everybody in here games, right? Everybody in here is a gamer.
Yes.
So the World Health Organization classified gaming as a gaming disorder as a mental health condition.
Mm-hmm. They did that a while ago, though.
Right, but and so there's one doctor who's really doing it, Vladimir Pozniak, and he's really the proponent of it. Some people aren't really quick to jump on it, right? They're not really quick to jump on this classification. So it's a little weird, man, because it says 3 major diagnostic features or characteristics of a gaming disorder. The first one is that gaming behavior takes precedence over other activities to the extent that the activities are taken to the periphery. So they're pushed to the side. The second is that impaired control of these behaviors. So people can't really control when they play or how much they want to play, right? And then the third feature is that the condition leads to significant distress and impairment in other areas of your life, right? Personal, family, social, educational, or occupational functioning, right? So you stay up too late, it's jacking up your sleep patterns, messing with your diet, it's a deficiency in the physical activity, things like that. So I wonder, Mike, have you really had, do you feel like you have that sometimes? Do you feel like you just want to go game and that's the only thing you want to go do right now at this point?
It does happen to me, but it's more of a thing where I'm like, there's something that I really want to play and there's not really a whole lot of time. And then there's a lot of times where I can only really play late after like the day is done and I got everything that I needed to get done, taken care of. It's like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna play Rimworld or some shit. And then like, next thing I know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, "Whoa, what happened?" Is more of that, but for me, that's a choice. It's not a it's not a. Like I chose to wait until 11 o'clock or midnight to start playing this game. So if it runs over the time where I'm supposed to be in bed, like that's a choice on my end. There are times where I'm playing a game and I don't really care about eating and all that other stuff. I really want to get through what I'm trying to get through and all of that kind of stuff. But again, those choices, not because I am being compelled to do so. So it's a little bit different. And like, I don't believe that it's for me, it's not a disorder. It's a little bit dysfunctional. It's a little bit dysfunctional because I know good and well that I'm supposed to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I shouldn't be going to bed at 2 or 3.
Good and well.
Like, I know good and damn well that those things shouldn't happen. So like the idea that those things are happening are up to me. And they're these are choices that I made. So it's a little bit different. Like I'm not being compelled to do this. These are choices that I made. The choices end up being terrible choices, but they are choices that I'm actively deciding.
It's too late for your disorder, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not young. I think they're ruling it out for like the young folks coming up. You know what I mean? Because it's like the only thing is always like you got that small little demographic that they always try to fix. Yeah. Remember when ADD came out? Every kid had ADD. Every kid had ADD.
Yeah, man, for real, boy.
And now it's like this is a sketchy area because my kids play a lot of video games. But I monitor them. I make sure they're all right. We're all good. I give them breaks. You know what I'm saying? But they might deem it as a disorder, even though I don't. Right. And that's what scares me.
You know what I think it is? And I'm not really this type, but I'm going to say it anyway.
And I'm going to say it again.
I think it's all a ploy. Just like ADD, I think most of it is a ploy to sell pills. Absolutely. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
because like it's the Chris Rock thing. Like they don't cure anything. So even if they label this a gaming disorder, like really how they get you is on the comeback. Like I got, I'm going to give you this pill that's going to make you feel a certain way to where it's like, this isn't as important to you. And then your parents think, oh my God, he's cured. Like, oh my God, he's cured. Like he doesn't want to play Fortnite right now. That's great for me. And so they go back to more pills. And then, of course, in the early days, they try you out on several different things because everybody trying to get paid. So they spread you around a little bit. They spread you around a little bit so that you can so you can bow down to the pill gods. And the truth of the matter is, like, as a parent, as a parent, like you got to set the boundaries for your child. Like I have a 10-year-old. Year-old is always on her phone or playing The Sims or something like that. You know, when I don't want her to play, when I'm being a good parent and I say, okay, you know what I do? All I do is reach my hand out and she gives me her phone or her controller or anything else that I don't even have to say anything. I hold my hand out and she knows instinctively to pass it along. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do if you say, give me it? And she says, I'm gonna cut you.
No,
that's where the disorder comes in.
Okay, so part of being a black parent is instilling fear.
Me too. I'm just saying.
I wish a little kid would.
I wish that day is the day that you want to try me, because we all have that moment, right? Oh, yeah. We all have that moment where like you start hitting puberty and the hormones start going. Well, mostly dudes, right? But like we all reach that moment. We all reach that moment where just something in you, and you just like, Dad said, turn this off. I don't feel like
I don't feel like doing this, and he shouldn't feel like asking you. Maybe you should step to Dad. And we all have that moment. We all have that moment.
I've got 2 boys, man. I've had that moment, and I do the wrestling belt around my waist, and I told my son, when you want a shot at the title, you got it.
You come get the belt. Come get the belt. You bad.
Yeah, it's that thing inside of you where you just like, he's trying to play you. Maybe basically you need to play him.
I just think I think it's a lazy diagnosis, though, boys. I don't know about you guys, but I think it makes it covers their butts so they can say that's what it is. We don't need to investigate any further. We'll just label it at that.
But and me personally, I'm like, yo, let them play the video games, because like if I'd rather them play Fortnite than to be out on the streets playing real Fortnite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like there's so many people dying, and like little kids being kidnapped and put in detention centers. Like all kinds of stuff that's happening right now. If
we had that too when we was kids, but it wasn't like it is now. It is way worse now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But here's the thing, man. Like you're right. There's an over medication of our society, right? But I think on a bigger note, I kind of had a similar conversation later today. Is that unfortunately, our world now, we have a problem identifying who we are. The problem is that we identify with who we are as the things that we do, because we over medicate and we suppress who we are. Almost. I don't know. Like this is like conspiracy theory talk right here. Right,
bring it.
All of these school shooters, the like 90% of them were under one or more of these types of medications before they did what they did.
And every one of them, everybody knew they were a knucklehead. Everybody, and from when you went to school, everybody knows who the knuckleheads are.
Don't nobody mess with Greg and Philip. Like Greg, Greg and Philip.
No, we can't do Greg. We can't do Greg, man. I always wanted to be Greg.
Oh, you want to be Greg? Okay, so we can't do Philip. And what is the feminine equivalent of Philip? Felicia? Phyllis. Okay. Philip and Phyllis. They're a little off, right? They're a little off. And so that's just something if you want to be Philip or Phyllis's friend, that's just something you have to learn to accept, right? And love them through that, right? That's just what you got to do. But
I totally reject this liberal notion that you're supposed to be friends with these dudes so they don't shoot the school up. Like that's a lazy. That's so lazy for you to say this after the fact.
Who's purporting that? Like who would purport that? Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm supposed to go to Philip. Like I'm just weird, and he takes. I know Philip is weird, and I know he takes his corn on the cob, and he picks it off like how you would be flicking off bullets in a clip and stuff like that, and he does that with his corn. Like I know that, and if I know that, I'm not bothering with Philip.
Right.
Yeah, Philip always wants to go to Hot Topic. I don't want to go to Hot Topic, man.
Right.
I want to go to the show.
Like the only thing I want in Hot Topic is maybe some Spider-Man shirts. Like
Right. You know, maybe a couple of statement
like,
tees.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need cuffs. You know what I mean? Like I don't need those. Me personally, I don't need those. Even though I did see a bad watch that was like a cuff with a watch on it, and the watch was banging. My old coworker had one, and he got it from a place like Hot Topic, but he bought it online. But that joint was magical. But I don't need no cuffs, and I don't need, like, I'm a dude, and you know, right. I got nuts. I'm proud of my nuts. I'm not about to be out here in a choker. Like, that's not what's going.
Why not, bro? I mean,
we got the same interest.
Right now, like me and Philip ain't built the same. And,
right.
But you know, I understand that I'm a different generation than Philip. You know what I mean? Right. Like the Phillips of the world that, you know, Hot Topic was like the store that you go into, and then when you're young, so you can slide in that back corner and see all of the sex toy stuff.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're like, I know they had that dark
store.
Yeah, you can buy
like a dark store, but there's weirdos in there now.
Yeah, you go in that back corner, you can see all the lubes and stuff like that. You're like, oh, this for doing that nasty. Like that's what you do when you were my age and you go to Hot Topic.
Hey, Scott, like that bead wall at the video store. You pull that bead wall out and you walk in.
What y'all know about that bead wall, man? What y'all know about that?
No, I used to work at a video store back in the day, and we had that back room.
Oh yeah.
We had that back room. No, I'm gonna tell y'all something very something that might throw y'all for a loop. The most popular movie to come out of that back room, and it never stayed in stock, and it was always different kinds of people, all different ethnicities, right. all shapes and sizes of people would rent this movie. And I have no idea why this one movie never stayed in stock. And that was Granny the Tranny. I have no idea why. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Right. Granny the Tranny would not stay in that store for some reason.
Man, I never rented it, not once.
You know, it's probably somebody who forgot to return it.
You know what? on the real, I started to one time it came back. I started to so I could figure out what the deal was. But I was like, I ain't about to have Granny the Tranny show up on my profile.
Stupid, man. You stupid, dog. You stupid, man. But hey, you know, I mean, you know, we talk about this generation, man. I'm sorry, Slasher, you had a point, right? You had a point?
No, go ahead. I just wanted to apologize for that intro, man. You know, that delay was killing me, man, because you were coming through my ear like 3 times. I was like,
yes. Yeah, I forgot to tell you to mute that thing, man. But you got it down, though. So it's all good, babe. It's all good. But, you know, we were talking about, you know, people having a problem identifying who they are. And there's this other article on CNN that says by Lauren Said Morehouse. That's her name. And the title of the article is Millennials May Be Less Happy and Healthy Than Their Parents by Middle Age. And it was a study done by the Health Foundation, which is an independent charity in the UK, published findings of a 2-year study into the future health of young people. Okay. Now it says that found that people now in their 20s and 30s are struggling with housing, employment, and social relationships, which could, you know, greatly impact their health later on down the road. And here's the reason. It says the gains made as a society in improving the health of previous generations may well be eroded by the precariousness and instability of the lives some young people are facing. And here's the reason. Young people enter middle age without the fundamentals needed for a healthy life.
Because right now money is not plentiful. It's hard to get a good job that's gonna pay you well. People losing jobs, and you got student loans and all of this stuff because when you're young, they tell you need to go to college and all of this kind of stuff. But what they don't tell you is to be prepared for those student loans. I got $30K out there right now, and I went to a 2-year tech school.
Just hanging.
But all of this stuff like contributes to the fact that like you look at your wallet and you say, I got $5 right now.
I got 5 on it.
I can either get 5 double cheeseburgers
Or a hot and ready?
Or one choose. 5 double cheeseburgers or 1 salad. What you gonna choose?
I see you.
Listen, from what my experience has told me, I know a lot of these young kids. I know them from my son and his friends.
Right.
And I've seen an interview with Mike Rowe, and I really like Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. I don't know if you guys ever caught him, but
I've seen it a few times.
These kids don't want to do the dirty work. They really don't.
No,
they want to go right up the ladder to a kick butt position. They don't want to get dirty
because they've been told since they entered school they need to go through school.
Absolutely.
They need to go through college. No one has told them that they needed to learn a trade. That like learning a trade will put you in a better position than going to college and all of this other stuff.
It's dirty grunt work that's thankless.
Right.
And it needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? And we need more people to do those. Everybody wants that glorification. And my son is a prime example. I mean, he was crying the other day because he had to work a 3rd shift. I'm like, a 3rd? I work 7 days a week, son. You're working 3, and you got don't come at me complaining.
Didn't you go like years without a vacation? Like 7 days a week? Still went years without a vacation, son. Like without a day off. Not even a vacation. Without a day off, son. I'm like, man, that is rough.
You got to put in your work, boys. And then after a couple years of sweating and grinding, then let's talk about where you be at.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but I think it's up to us. I think it's up to us, the parents of these young people, like the young people entering the workforce right now. They're a lot of them are lost. And it's gonna suck when reality hits them. And I'm not even one of those people that is like, oh, participation trophies are ruining our society. Because let's be honest, I know a lot of people who played football and baseball and stuff back in the day, and even if they was a like place team, they got something, a ribbon, something. The trophy man cannot survive on just providing for the winners.
Right. Participation trophies are good. My problem is when you say we don't need to keep score no more. That's when I have a problem.
I think for little kids, like you can let
for sure, because they don't even know they're kicking the ball in the wrong direction. I get it.
If they're learning the game, that's a different thing, right? But if they've learned the game to a point where they understand all of the rules, they understand the score, they understand what their role is, then at that point, I think they're at that athletic maturity level where you need to keep score, right? Because they need to understand the stakes is that somebody gonna win and somebody gonna lose. Which side you gonna be on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it should be like a middle school thing. Once you hit middle school, that's when the real happens.
I agree. That's when it happened for me.
Yeah, I think the real should happen around middle school, where you start letting people know what this really is. And we should think around middle school to stop lying to these kids.
Set them expectations properly, dog. Hey, my mom set me down 6th grade and said, "You're smart. I love you. We ain't got money to pay for you to go to school. You're gonna have to earn that." So I had my expectations set early. Man, by the time I was 8th grade, I even told my high school my middle school basketball coach, like, man, forget this. I don't even need basketball, man. I'm gonna graduate as valedictorian. And I did. I'm gonna tell you what, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. When I was in elementary school, I was a terrible student. It all started when I was in 3rd grade. When I entered 3rd grade the first time, it was right after my mom had passed. So I kind of tried to hustle the system, and the system hustled me back, and I ended up failing 3rd grade. Then after I failed because I didn't want to do the work, because I thought the woe is me, my mom passed away act was gonna work for me. And it didn't. And they knew that I knew the work. I just wasn't willing to do the work because I thought I was hustling the system. So after that, they started putting me in advanced classes, but I still wanted to act out. So all the way through elementary school, I was a real bad student. I would just do stupid stuff like tripping and pulling the hair on little white girls, like all kinds of stuff. And it was just like, it was just a lot of stupid stuff. Like I would walk into the office, and even if I was walking into the office for a legitimate reason, all of the people in the office were like, Michael, what did you do now?
Right.
Like, I'm like, damn, the teacher told me to bring these papers. Like,
I'm out of pencils. Like, y'all got a pencil or something I can use? I mean, I'm out of pencils. I ain't do nothing.
So I would get whoopings all the time. And my dad was a third shifter. So like I didn't get whoopings until he got home at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
So like, dad gets home.
Right. So my dad sat me down once after I got whooping so much they stopped hurting. And then one time, the last time I got a whooping, I laughed and I got punched in the face.
Right. And then you didn't laugh
because like when you get so many whoopings and they stop hurting, you just kind of go,
yeah, you pretend it hurts so you don't get no more.
And then he leaves you alone. But this one time I looked at his face and I saw how hard he was trying and he wasn't hurting me, and I laughed and I got punched in the face. But after that, my dad sat me down and was like, look, I work at the shipyard. I can be laid off at any point. Like, the shipyard is good money, but I can be laid off at any point, and I don't know when they're going to call me back. And this is not the life that I want for you. I want you to go to school, get your education, get a good job, so you don't have to live the life that I live.
Right.
And that was the start of my father being honest with me. And that honesty is what propelled me to like go into middle school, because I should not have passed 5th grade. I should not. But my teacher saw something in me. My homeroom teacher saw something in me and said, "Let him go." And that was during the same time. And my dad sat me down, had this conversation, and his honesty is what affected me the most. And I hit honor roll for the first time in 6th grade. That's like for the first time, I hit honor roll because of his honesty. We have to stop lying to kids. Yeah. I tell my daughter the truth. Like, I tell my daughter the truth every day. I promised when I became a father, I said I did not want to lie to her at all. The only time I have ever not told my daughter the whole truth about anything was during my separation and divorce, when I was informed not to.
Right. Well, that's on a need to know basis. I'm just like you. I'm a very honest person. I sat my kids down. I told them the truth. I broke it down to them. I said, listen, I am your father, but I can be a little bit of your friend, but I'm going to be your parent first.
Absolutely.
I'm going to teach you the difference between right and wrong. I'm going to teach you how to be a gentleman, how to be respectful, and how to be a good dude. Okay. And there's consequences.
You better than my father. My father said, my father told me, I was like, why all of these other kids talk about all of the cool stuff that they do with their fathers and stuff on weekends and such, and we don't do none of that? And he was like, because I'm not your friend. Like, we not ever gonna be that. And like I said, that was the start of the honesty part of my dad. We not ever gonna be that. There's always gonna be a line where you ain't crossing. You are here to do as I say, because doing what I say will make you a better person in the long run.
Right. Well, I told my kids, I said, listen, I'll teach you there's consequences to every action has a reaction. And you know what? After that, it's up to you to decide your future. I can't choose your path for you, but I can explain everything along the way. And your decisions and consequences are based on you, because I went to their parent-teacher conferences. My kids aren't great in school. My one son was an AP student all the way up and through high school. My other son is real low, CD. So I go to their parent-teacher conferences. I talk to their teachers, and they all say, missing homework, incomplete assignments. But man, your kids are super respectful, and they are really a pleasure to have in class. I'm like, I will take that over a damn good grade, because you know what? I know rich people that were stupid in high school, and I know poor people that became successful not because of education. So
we have a president that probably was a terrible student.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's call it what it is.
You can be president. You can be a dummy and be a president. That's fine, as long as you're respectful doing it.
Y'all silly, man. But no, man,
I'm gonna tell you, I only really got to go to the preschool parent teacher conferences because that's when everything split up. So I will tell you, the one parent teacher conference that I went to, all I did was laugh uproariously. All I did was laugh because the one good thing about my daughter, is outside, she is her mother. Inside, how she thinks, how she acts, how she feels is very much like me. And sitting in that conference, everything she said is exactly what my mama told me, well, my stepmom told me. And she said, all this stuff we keep having to go to school for is gonna come back to bite you with your kids. And it totally did. And all I could do was laugh because I was like, all of this stuff is exactly the same. These are the same parent teacher conferences that I had through school. And they're saying the exact same things and for the exact same reasons. And all I could do was laugh. And like I said, the best part about my daughter is she's very much like me, so I understand how she thinks, and I help guide her around that because I'm the person that she connects to the best, even though I'm 4 hours away normally. I'm the person that she connects to, and when she's talking, I'm the one that can call her out on her bullshit and say, "This is why I know it's bullshit." That's the best part about being a parent. But that honesty has to come in there when I say, "This is why this doesn't work. Here's a better way to do it. Here's a better way to get over on people." That's just me.
That's you. But no, but some of those issues they talked about, I was just talking about the self-identity thing. That was one of the issues. One of the reasons young adults are having more stressful lives is because issues of self-identity and confidence driven by more widespread use of social media. Right. And now they did mention that today's youth actually navigate navigate between in-person and digital interactions, right? They use them both. But the over reliance, the widespread use of social media is what has eroded people's self-efficacy and their self-identity because they're letting other people help define who they are. You know what I mean?
And people don't say truthful shit on the internet.
True.
So you don't know if they're being truthful, if they're being hurtful, or if they're just jerks. You can't tell. Because everybody's mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but not everybody's in real life.
I shared something on Facebook that I saw, and I'm trying to find it right now. And the quote was really, really meaningful to that fact. But outside, let me tell you, bruh. I'm gonna tell y'all something made me cry the other day. I was at work and I didn't mean to cry, but I felt this. It was a while I try to find this quote, it was a clip from a Linkin Park concert, and they played the background music for Numb with an empty stage and just a spotlight on the microphone, and the crowd sang the song.
Oh, that's
really?
Cool.
Yeah,
that man, I just hair stand up. You know what I'm saying,
bro? I was okay. Here's the quote: "Is by Bill Murray. It says social media is training us to compare our lives instead of appreciating everything we are. No wonder why we're always depressed."
Valid.
I think valid on Instagram for sure.
Yes,
because that's all Instagram is look at what I got, look what I can do.
I just started Instagram. I just logged in and got an Instagram account and everything. And I was gonna upload a lot of my old food review pics and stuff, because I like doing that stuff for Google reviews.
I do food on mine.
Yeah, and it's fun, man. It's fun. I like
my paintings have gotten me a lot of followers. A lot of using the hashtags, it's gotten me a lot of followers. But with that said, I'm being followed by artists from all over the world. And it makes me look at my art like it's not good enough. Like all of the, when I was posting before, I was just posting what I was doing, and I did a monthly challenge just off of that. And then once that was finished, I started making posts with the art hashtags in the post, and that's when everybody else showed up. And sometimes I look at Instagram now. Luckily, they came out with a mute function. Thank you, Instagram.
Right.
Thank you so much, Instagram. But like sometimes I go to Instagram and I see what other people are posting, and I look at my work like maybe this isn't good enough, and then I snap out of it. Like
you can't like think like that, Scar man, because you can't measure. You can't measure that. You can't. If you're an artist on any scale, be small or big, you're still an artist. It's a way of life. It's a way of thinking. It's how you feel.
It's an expression. Once you successfully communicate and express what you're feeling or what you wanted to do, dog, you're successful. You can't let anyone else determine that. Now, how someone else values that is determined about how much they're willing to pay for it. But you're the one that determines whether or not you're a good artist. You're successful in what you want to do.
But it does make me feel. It does make me feel that way sometimes. Like, I made a post about a week or so ago about like doing this art thing and feeling like a poser. You know what I mean? It was really like I was feeling that way, but like the people liking this stuff, and like some of the artists that I watched their YouTube videos and stuff like that, they started liking me on Instagram, and that made me feel a little bit better because these are the people who I kind of pattern my my art after, and some people I get ideas from as far as colors and things of that nature. Right. I don't necessarily do exactly what they do, but like the idea of like, hey, I saw this person doing this technique. Maybe I should try that technique. I don't want to do exactly what they did, but I want to add my own spin to it. But like those people make me feel a little bit better because like those people saying, hey, I like this, makes me feel better. But there's a part of me where I ask myself, do I really need that validation from others?
No, you don't. You know what, Scar? When I was in 8th grade, we did this art class, and everybody had to make a plaster of Paris like design, and everybody was really good, man. They were chiseling their stuff, and it was all sweet. And I put mine in a plastic bag. Okay, I dropped a couple dollops of food coloring in there, and I forgot it. I come in the next day, everybody's polishing theirs, and they're all sweet, and I'm like, oh no. I looked at mine, it was a glob inside this bag. So I ripped it out of the bag, put it down, and just carved some stuff into it, and it was oblong and weird. And dude, everybody said it was the best project in class. They put it in a hallway in a glass case. They're like, this is amazing. I'm like, I forgot that.
You know what I'm saying? My food coloring joints is better than yours. It's me, though.
Exactly. Hey, Philip, stop hating, Philip.
Philip is the one here. It's like the I saw a picture the other day. I think it was on Facebook where someone was dyeing their hair, and unfortunately this person used a Walmart bag to cover their head. So like you have like they dyed their hair blonde, they peroxided and dyed their hair blonde, but there's a blue words that kind of make it's not quite Walmart, but it's like across here, and it's blue like words that kind of yeah. And so it kind of looks like Walmart, but you know that it's supposed to be Walmart. And you know, there's people who's like, you know what, I roll with that. I always wanted to dye my hair.
Own it.
That's crazy.
I always wanted to dye my hair blonde or just a really light brown. I always wanted to do that. But when everybody was doing it in high school, I was in ROTC and I couldn't.
Yeah, that's right.
I was reading Dennis Rodman. I was reading Dennis Rodman books. Shout out to Dennis Rodman, like American hero Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying?
He deserves an award.
He deserves. Well, okay. Let's back it off. Let's back it off just a little bit. He deserves an award for being able to put those men in the room. What actually happened between those men? Yeah. But he does deserve something for like he does. I mean, like for real. If he gets a Nobel Peace Prize, I'm not even mad.
You're not gonna be mad.
I ain't mad.
All right, man. All right, so this is the final article that I got, and then we're gonna talk about Nashville Slasher, and then we're gonna talk about one other little thing that I found interesting. But this is the final article I got. So this week, you guys know that I guess early this morning, or was it late last night, that the of course 45 signed the border security thing, right? Because children were being detained. Well, let me get it right. So people who were trying to enter in at the border illegally, if they came over with their children, based on a previously existing law, the children would have to be detained, but just like any other person. Like if a parent commits a crime, the children don't go to jail with them, right?
Right.
So that was the law. That was what was in place. The problem was there were two things, and so that's why the name of this episode is called Unapologetic. It's because so okay, let me get her name right. Kirsten Nielsen defended the administration by saying this, right? Talking about while calling on Congress to change the law, says we will not apologize for the job we do or for the job law enforcement does for doing the job that the American people expect us to do. Yet this was before they just signed a thing to say, okay, let's quit doing what we're doing. But my thing is, man, when you are dealing with children being ripped away from their parents, like whether the parent is obeying the law or not, that's by the point, right? So let's just all assume to agree that they disobeyed the law, right? Because they they're illegal.
They didn't disobey the law because they just don't know the law because they ain't here.
Right. But they do know
laws, but they do know the risks.
Right. They do understand the risk of not becoming familiar with the law and then not ultimately not obeying that law, right? But the thing is, we know better, and so like we as America, just in general, right? Like we know better. We know not to separate a parent from the child. That generally the whole reason they're leaving their country is to make a better future for that child, right? I could say that because just a lot of the people that I know that have done that, that's why they came here, right? Is to make a better future for their child. So, or children, so
Absolutely,
or themselves.
That's why you do it. And and I can guarantee you 90% of them parents don't care about themselves as long as their children are all right. That's why they do it.
Right. No, I mean? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So even though the parents, whatever happens to them, it is a tragedy, but you can't compare it to like taking your kids away or taking my kids away, because that's different. When you go to another country and you go over mountains and climb through mud and swim, and I mean, you're barely alive by the time you get to that country, and something happens to you and your kids. As long as your kids are good, I'm good, because that's why I got you there. I wouldn't have done that unless things were bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So exactly. I mean, the situations they're generally running from are really, really tough. Like it's hard for us to generally imagine what they're moving from.
Right. Knox shared a video today where a guy said, "Did you know in Mexico the age of consent is 12?"
That's just not even good.
No, it's not at all, man. Not at all. Who wants that for their kid, man? Like, I know I wouldn't, like, even though I have boys, man, like, I can only imagine the people who have girls, how they would feel, right? Like how Mike would feel. But like,
that dude said in some countries, the age of consent is as soon as you hit puberty. Do you know I have a child I got a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Are you serious? So, like, my 10-year-old, it is in some places is allowed to consent.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So considering those situations, man, I'm just the thing that frustrates,
messed up system. It's got to get fixed. It just has to.
And the thing is, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Slasher. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it has to get fixed. Bottom line. I mean, we got some of the greatest minds in the world. Fix it now.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you this whole situation would have been fixed a long time ago. All right, this whole situation would have been fixed a long time ago if instead of you were taking people's kids, you separated people from their dogs. This whole thing would have been this whole
so
thing
crazy,
would have
man.
this whole
Except if
thing
they were Chinese.
That probably only would have happened in Virginia.
No, we need to separate them from their dogs because I know I love Chinese food and I love boneless ribs. I know that there is not a cow or a pig with ribs that small, but I don't ask no questions.
We don't even know what we're eating.
Silly,
we just gotta hope the FDA is involved somehow.
Somehow.
Please.
Right. But no, man, it's just like it's frustrating to me how I see just in the situation how there is some kudos to being audacious. There's some kudos to being to being audacious, to being loud, to being firm and bold. But man, when you wrong, son, like you wrong, like you cannot sit up here and say
the problem is not just the fact that they were wrong. The fact that in 4 days, their tone kept changing, and that's what I was just sharing my screen for everybody who's watching the video.
I focused on it.
Yeah. So like in 4 days, like how the tone kept changing. And it was, and even 45 himself said, like, bruh, if it's gonna change, it has to be changed by Congress. And someone said, what about an executive order? He was like, I can't do that. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, you can? Like, what is going on here? Where you don't even know what your job is.
He's learning as he goes. He's not a lifelong politician. He's got people barking in this ear and in this ear.
Why did we vote for him?
Hey, because the other choice wasn't very good. That's why he won.
The other choice was a lifelong politician that was overly qualified for the job.
I voted for Obama over I don't even know who was running against. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, it was over your boy
because
McCain.
Obama was a smooth talker. Okay, that dude could sell me swampland in Alaska. Okay,
and he kind of sounded like The Rock. Like, let's be honest. On the campaign trail, he kind of sounded like The Rock.
But these guys in the
didn't do that.
previous administrations before Trump's administration hasn't fixed it. Trump ain't gonna fix it. Trump's blaming Obama, and the next president that's coming in is gonna blame Trump. It's just the way it goes. Somebody's got to fix it, and it ain't the president. I'm sorry.
Right, he signed the executive order to start the fixing.
Right. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Well, the problem is that with the order, okay, so some people are upset with the order, and I've heard that some people are upset with the order because they're just like, well, it's that open door thing, right? They're just like, well, you're just leaving the floodgates open. Now they can just go back to saying, well, this person that I'm bringing over is my family when it may not necessarily be.
And how do you know?
Right? And so
but the executive order also changed the fact that they ain't got to separate the parents for the kids, but they can be detained indefinitely.
Yeah, and that's and the thing is, some people were even saying
that's weird. That's a weird situation too, because they can't hold people indefinitely just because they ain't got the space or the food or the money. So they won't hold them indefinitely, even though it says that.
They will hold them as long as they can because somebody's getting paid.
Well, but they're gonna get them out. Yeah. Trust me, they ain't gonna.
And then even further, though. But the biggest issue that we didn't even talk about was the fact that when these kids are separated from their families, like it is an ordeal for the parents to go get them back. Like it is a long process for them to have to actually go and find out what they need to do. Some of them
can't even find their parents.
Yes, and that's the sad thing. Like, and when I say what's wrong, I'm not talking about the administration. I'm saying what's dismissive of what is ethically right. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about.
See, that's the problem, Blue. That is the underlining issue. Is the ethics in this country that's what's tearing us apart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have to be ethically better than everybody else. And some people don't want to be ethically better than everybody else. You know, we don't want to be the moral standard. We want to just take care of our own. Some do. So,
but here's the biggest problem with being morally or ethically right. A lot of these kids grew up with the idea that the person with the best idea for how society should work is the Joker from the Dark Knight series. and you know, some people just want to watch the world burn, and a lot of people idolize Heath Ledger for that role, and like you grow up with that, and like you have people in our society that don't want to conform to societal norms, and they want to go so far outside it because, you know, they're so anti everything, and that's liberals and conservatives because they're anti everything. But it's on
right and the far left are the same kind of people to me.
It's a different, it's different. It's different extremes of the same basic ideas. Collectivism. Shout out to Knox. But it's, I mean, you have these people who don't know who they are, so they look to their leaders, they look to celebrities and all of this stuff, and they think that they can build their lives based off of these people who they see all the time, not the person that they see in the mirror.
Right. Well, here's the thing, and so here's the thing. So, kind of along the lines of collectivism, and you were talking about the societal norms. Really, societal norms, quote unquote, are, even though we don't view it this way, they are functionally, practically, societal norms are collectivism. It's what we collectively assume to be normal. But what we don't understand is that those things are shifting now. Because we live in an outrage culture, that has actually changed things, right? So now what hasn't been a societal norm for the past 40, 50 years is now becoming one. And so now, how do you expect someone who has been outside of our society, outside of our culture, to come in and have these old, outdated views of our societal norms when they get here? They weren't expecting the hostility. They weren't expecting, you know, the indifference that they're met with, right? Because our societal norms are changing, and I
don't think it's the societal norms that are changing. It's the fact that social media gave everybody a voice.
Which, what do you think those voices do? I concur with you, Mike. But those voices
I concur with you as well. But what do you do if you don't have social media? Let's say a group of people come in, okay, around my area, okay, is hugely flooded with Indian and Arabic people, okay.
I actually listened to NPR special on that, but continue, yeah.
There are building fronts and signs written in Arabic. I don't know what it says. It's in my neighborhood. I don't even know. Is it a grocery store? Is it a gas station? I don't know what that store is. Why can't you have English underneath it? Why do I have to succumb to your area? Because the whole area is starting to, because they're bringing their friends, their families are coming here, and now they're going to have a mosque. Then they're going to have everything around it they're going to make their country out of my neighborhood, because their country, they ran into the ground and it sucks. So they come here, and now they want here to be there. And that's not what it is.
But I mean,
so
it's
here.
Here's the thing. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you got it.
All right. I was just going to say, so there is an idea of assimilation where you come into a country and then you assume the cultural values of that country while losing yours. And then there's the opposite of that, where you come into a country and maintain your culture. And then there's in between, where you come into the country and people adopt from the country that they're coming into, and then they carry some traditions from the country that they immigrated from. Right. Sure. And so while I see what you're talking about, Slasher, and how that happens, but keep in mind the reason that they're here is because they do want some of those values of people to live with peace, you know, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So they do want that. I think that
we are big enough of a country to allow that. And
absolutely.
But what I'm saying is they're not asking me. I don't have a choice. It's just happening. Right. And people are getting squeezed out. And they don't like it.
Well, it's gentrification, man.
Fight against that.
It's gentrification the other way.
There's no English on any of them buildings. Not 1 ounce. There's like 15 buildings by me. Not one is English. Not one. How do I know what it is?
Well, Slasher, clearly it's not for you. Like, clearly there are other
That's my whole neighborhood. What do I got to move?
No, you just. I mean, here's the thing. So now you just have services and the products you need to buy or whatever you frequent. And now somewhere else down the road, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy, though, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
In another country, you have to learn their language. You do.
You're gonna have to adopt curry in your neighborhood.
Man, you run right through you, dude. You can't.
You got to get up on this curry. Like,
I tried curry one time. I couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough.
Here's the thing. There's some good curry here. They have this curry fusion place, and they try 12 different flavors of curry every day. And man, they only bring back like 2 flavors, only recurring. Like they try new flavors every single day of the year. And it is fire, son.
I'm not about that.
So good.
I'm not about that life.
So good.
I'm not about that life. I watch Slasher. I'm not about that life. Like it's real. It's real. I'm not about that life for real.
Okay, well, let's get into a couple of things. Slasher, I need you to tell it, and then we'll move into shout outs after that. But Slasher, tell everybody what's going on this weekend.
Man, this weekend we've been planning this on OFR for a while, and we just couldn't pick a date, and we kept picking a date, and couldn't get it together, and we picked a date, and then somebody's like, "Oh, that's Father's Day." And it was like, "Oh, we can't do Father's Day. Let's go the next weekend." So we've been planning an OFR meetup for the crew. We tried to get it in a centralized location to where it's not killing any one of us to meet. Right. And we decided on Nashville. It's an 8-hour drive for pretty much everybody. Vlad's a little bit longer. Timo's a little bit longer, but he's flying, so it kind of makes up for it.
Right.
But we wanted to kind of do a meetup every year and just, hang out for a weekend, enjoy our company. Maybe invite the community and the listeners, if they're in that neighborhood or around that time, to come on down, man. Let's take some photo ops. Let's hang out. Let's do some boom recordings, because OFR is a diverse podcasting community, man. It's like, it's what community sounds like, right, Blue?
That's it, baby. That's it. I mean, get that tagline with him, man. I love it.
There's liberals, there's Republicans, there's jerks, there's nice people, there's great gaming podcasts, there's lots of knowledge being spread. I mean, it's really awesome to be a part.
There's conservative jerks.
Silly, man.
So we're like, let's have a good time. We're older guys, so we got a couple of bucks. We're not like millennials, who don't tip, by the way. We're going to go down there. We're going to have a good time. We're going to spend a couple days in downtown Nashville. We're going to hit some bars. We're going to hit some clubs. We're going to do some sightseeing. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to eat some Prince's hot chicken. Although I'm going mild because I'm a basic white dude.
Silly.
I can't be going for that hot challenge, man.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
My hotel's like 5 miles away. What do I do if I got to hit that real quick? You know what I mean?
Exactly. What you going to do? You better hope they got a restroom in the restaurant.
Look, just walk in the place and just be like, look, buddy, I am white. Don't put my stone on this, because that will make it spicy for me.
I'm about that barbecue life. Somebody's got to put the Nashville barbecue.
There you go.
I need some water seasoning, please.
Right, some waters.
And that's all this OFR meetup is. We're going to meet up Friday night, Saturday night, and a lot of the guys are going to meet up Sunday. Like Anthony, Alex, and maybe Meef Jay, and whoever else is going to make it down. It's going to be on a Sunday, so Friday and Saturday is going to be a hangout. That's it, man. We're just going to meet each other and take a lot of photos. Maybe record some drunken episodes for us to put on the OFR proper.
Man, the big podcast that we recorded at PAX East, the one time we were all there, and we used my blue snowball to get it done. It recorded the whole room.
It did. Right?
The one blue snowball recorded the whole room, but to this day, just being in a room with all of those people, some of which we don't even talk to anymore, but
you always got that moment.
But that one day, all of us were in one hotel room having an absolute blast.
I saw that, and it looked so fun. And I said, when I saw that back then, I was like, I want to do that one day.
Yeah,
and
man.
Before I moved, I found my DVD. I don't know what it is now because I moved and it's in a box somewhere. Right. But I found my DVD, and I was tempted to watch it again, but I didn't want to get misty.
Right. No, it was a great time. And look, y'all, this is the inaugural OFR meetup, right? So this is the first one. So if you can make it. I sincerely hope you guys have a great time. I can't make it. It's my 20th high school reunion this weekend. And just right now,
mine too. I ain't going, but mine is this weekend too.
Mine is this weekend. So I mean, I'm gonna go because I was class president. I'm kind of obligated to go. But yeah, if that wasn't it, I'll try my best to be there next year though. So
yeah, well, that's the thing I was gonna say, Blue, is we were thinking about maybe possibly doing this once a year, and not always be in Nashville, but like everybody decide where it's gonna be, and we'll all just go there.
I'm gonna give y'all a good idea. I'm gonna give y'all a great idea. Williamsburg, Virginia.
Williamsburg is fun. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, because not only do you have like all of this stuff, because there's a lot of tourists that come into that area, but you have Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, which I went to. And you have water country right down the street from each other.
Yeah, it's fun, and the food out there, man, banging.
The food is banging.
Give me good bars, nice views of ladies to look at. Give me good food, and good friends.
Water country got them things, but because everybody got their bathing suit on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you got to go out there ready, basically.
I got to keep a shirt on, but like everybody got the things on. So that's a good look. That's a good look.
All right, and then so y'all check that out. Be on the lookout, and keep your ears open for all those podcasts and those shows and those recordings coming from that, because it's gonna be a good time. Even if it's just those fellas, it's still gonna be a phenomenal time. But it looks like Anthony, Alex, and Meef J want to be there, and that'd be sweet. And I do think next year I am gonna go back to PAX South. If I can pull PAX East, that'll be better.
Right.
I think I'll be able to get that done. Actually, PAX South is probably the only thing I can do. PAX South is
I refuse PAX East. I refuse to be back in Boston.
He hates Boston with the passion of 1,000 burning suns.
PAX South is what? Is that Texas or
Yeah, it's PAX South in San Antonio.
Right? San Antonio, okay.
It's San Antonio, but it's a nice city, dude. I like San Antonio a lot. But I'll say that. And then the one thing that I want to talk about that I said was interesting, Discord now has a game launcher. If you have games installed on your PC, it launches games, bro. I just noticed it when I pulled it up. I'm like, when did this happen? They just did an update a couple of days ago. I was like, when did this happen?
I use the website. I don't use the app because the app is too annoying. Every time I turn on my computer, it's like Discord's here. It's like, how
I had to get rid of Discord too, man. I'm sorry, but I can't do it.
So much, man.
It was just too much, man. I mean, if you're in like 2 or 3 different communities on there, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm in like 5 or 6, and it is so active. It is so active.
The Scarcasm community kind of died down a little bit, but I only came back to Discord for that.
Right.
So I mean, but I like Discord. For some reason, my internet doesn't like Discord when I want to actually talk to people.
Right.
But like typing and going back and forth in the things, Discord is actually pretty dope. I like Discord. I wish I could talk, but
things. Right. So I'll say this, y'all. I would move into what we've been consuming, but we normally do that on our other shows. So, and we had an hour. So let's just go ahead and move into shout outs. Slash, you got anything else you want to say before you get up out of here?
Nope. But if you do want to be interested in hitting us up in Nashville, hit us up on Twitter at Vlad's Hammer, at Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, at Timo HOU87, or Detroit Slasher. Hit us up on Twitter and let us know where you're going to be. And that's how you get a hold of us down there.
Right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Mike, shout outs, dog.
Man, shout out to the people, man. Like, I ain't got to say no more. Shout out to the people. And also shout out to the dude who complained about me vaping.
Yo, Jimbo 2000, what's going on?
Yeah, you lucky we didn't cover this at the beginning of the show, because I was about to have some words. I would have words with thee.
With thee.
I would have words. Like all of those old like BC shows that take place during BC and like Romans and all that kind of stuff. Is like I would have words with thee. That means we gonna fight. Right. So like, so you lucky. I'm feeling all right today, and not vape because I don't want to go off.
Right. All right. So, okay, I do have some shout outs before I get out of here. Congratulations on Gaming Vessels reaching season 3. I listened to the first couple episodes. They had a pre-E3 and then a post-E3 show. I listened to both of those. They got me through some really long days of work, so I appreciate that. Shout outs to OMG Hour, man. It's their last show for a while. If they come back at all, hopefully they will. But their last show was episode 300. So shout outs to them, man. Shout outs to Sean and Jeff and Tycho, or I would say Tycho.
300 episodes. Be proud of that.
Absolutely, man. They've been doing it faithfully, and Sean's a good dude, man. Good podcaster, man. Really well organized, and we need to get back up on the what was the show we used to do? I can't even remember it now. It was the one we used to do with him, Gamers Unscripted. So we need to get back up on that. That's really about it. Y'all get back out there. Remember to hit the Facebook page, since Mike always forgets it. Look at the paintings. Look at the art. Mike always forgets it. I gotta remind him every week.
Yeah, I'm at the very end. I did most of the normal weeks of the contest. I'm putting up a one last week, and it's with basically the rejects and the redos.
Okay. All right.
And I will, and whoever wins, they can pick those, and they can also pick from any of the other weeks that haven't been claimed. So shout out to the people who won. I know I was supposed to send one to Gus last week. I did not get around to it. Right. I'm sending like 5 packages out this weekend. I promise you're going to get that.
Word up. So everybody, thank you so much for watching and or listening. Hey, Slasher, finally, man, thanks so much for joining us, dog. I appreciate it.
You guys for having me on, dude. This is cool. This is a comfy chair over here at Facetious, man. I didn't do that. What is this, Corinthian leather?
Yeah, Corinthian leather, right. Nothing but duck down inside the chair. That's how we roll. But no,
I'm from Newport News. It's made out of puppies.
Silly, man. You're silly. I'm from Virginia. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening to and or watching Facetious 127. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll be back in your ears and in front of your eyeballs again next week. Until then, y'all be blessed, and peace out to the Warriors.
Peace out to the Warriors. I'm currently watching a YouTube video where a Chihuahua is humping the mess out of a Donald Trump doll.